Alright guys, so now that we can add tasks, we can view them, we want to be able to edit them. Alright, so if we click on edit, it's going to edit.html, and it's also tacking on the ID of the current task, which is good because we need that to do a few things, to pre-fill the form, to actually change it, things like that. So the edit form is extremely similar, if not identical, to the add form. So I'm going to just copy everything inside of add HTML and put it inside of edit.html. Okay, and we're going to change a few things. Starting at the top, we're going to change this to edit task. Alright, and then down for the heading here, let's change that to edit. We want to change the ID of the form to edit task form. And that should be it for now, so we'll save that. And now if we go to edit, it takes us to a form, and you'll notice the form is empty. We haven't done anything in JavaScript yet. Okay, so let's go back to main.js, and up where we have our events, let's just comment this a little bit here. Okay, so we want to get it by its ID of edit task form, and we're going to say dot on submit function. Okay, on submit function we want to run update task, which we haven't created yet. Alright, so let's go down here and create it. Actually, one thing different with the edit form, we want to be able to send the ID when we submit the form. So I'm going to create a hidden input that's going to have the value of the ID. Alright, so down here, right above the button. Okay, I'm going to say input type, and the type is going to be equal to hidden, and value. Let's see, value is going to be nothing for now because we're going to insert it dynamically. Okay, so just leave that for now. Actually, it does need an ID. So input type hidden ID is going to equal task underscore ID. Okay, so I'll save that, and we'll go back to main. Okay, we got to create that update task. And actually, before we do that, we need to be able to insert the current task information into these input boxes. So let's just put that on hold and create a function called getTask, and that'll get, first of all, it'll look at this ID, and then it'll go through LocalStorage and find a value with this ID, and then we can actually grab the things like task, priority, and we can insert them into the form here. So let's do that. Now the getTask function, we want it to go out of the jQuery document ready. Alright, just so it's available to us before the document's ready. So that ends here, so we want to go under that and say function for getting a single task. Okay, and that's going to be function getTask. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is grab that ID that's in the URL, and to get, I'll show you what to do to get a query parameter. Okay, so which is this here, ID, and then the number. Alright, so we're going to say variable, and we're going to create a variable called get, $_get, And this should look really familiar if you're a PHP coder, because that's actually the super global to get values. All right, but we're going to set it to get query params, which is going to be a function that we create, and we're going to pass in document.location.search. Okay, so that'll get the queries or the values or the variables, whatever you want to call them. And we're going to set the ID to, let's see, get ID. Alright, so that's what's going to get this. If we wanted, let's say this was, I don't know, if this was user equals something, then we would just say get, and then I'd replace this with user. Okay, so that's how you can get query params. Now we need to actually create this function because it's not that simple. Alright, so let's create that. Actually, you know what, I'm just going to paste that in. 1 second. Alright, so this is the function. Basically, we're using regular expressions to grab it for us, and then we're just returning the params, which allows us to do this up here. Alright, so underneath here, let's say variable task list is equal to json.parse, and that will be our item LocalStorage dot get item, get item tasks. Alright, and then we need a for loop. So for, and let's see, we want to put in here variable I is equal to 0. And we want to say as long as I is less than task list dot length, then we want to increment by 1. So I plus plus, whoops, plus plus, whoops, plus plus. All right, so that's our loop, and then inside the loop we're gonna check for the ID. So task list I, which represents the current iteration, dot ID is equal to ID. Okay, so we're basically looking for the task by this here, by this ID. Alright, and if it gets it, then we just want to set the value of our form inputs. Okay, so we use jQuery, and we want the edit task form. Edit task form, and then we need to know the actual field. This one is going to be the ID, so it'll be task underscore ID. Alright, now what this is coming from is, let's see, right here. Okay, this hidden input has an ID of task ID. Alright, and then we're just going to say dot val, and we want to put in the ID, which we can get from right here. Alright, and we can do this with the rest of the fields as well. Okay, so we got the task itself, and let's see, we just want to replace ID with task. Okay, next one is going to be the priority. Okay, and this will be, let's see, task priority. Okay, next will be the date, task date. task date and task time. Okay. Now let's see if this works. Let's see if the input fields actually get filled. Okay, so we're on the home page, pick up kids. I'm going to click edit. Okay, and that's not working for some reason. It should be filling these in. Actually, you know what? Get task is never being called. So let's go to the edit HTML and we'll just add a load handler onto the body. Okay, so we'll say body on load, whoops, is going to be equal to get task. Alright, so let's try that again. We'll go back home, click edit, and there we go. Pickup kids is being inserted. It doesn't look like the date and the time are. Let me actually go back here. See, meeting with boss, edit. Alright, so it's pulling in the name, so something's wrong with the way that, because even the priority should be high. So let's just check that out. And the problem lies in these IDs. Okay, so in the form we don't have the task preceding this. Alright, so this should just be priority. This should be date, and this should be time. You do want the actual variables to have the task prefix. So let's try that. I'm pretty sure that'll work. Alright, there we go. So everything's now being inserted. Meeting with boss. Okay, hi. Alright, so that's working perfectly. What we want to do now is we want to add the functionality where we can submit it and it'll actually change. And that's going to lie in the update task function. Okay, so did we create it? Okay, we didn't create it yet. We have the handler going to it, but now we need to create it. So I'm going to go down. Right here. Hold on a sec. I'm just going to go right under add task. Which is right here. Okay, so function update task. Now there is a lot in this function that's going to be similar to the add task function. So let's just go up here, and I want to grab this block here. Now you can see with add task there wasn't already a task, so you created a new ID, and we did that by using a timestamp. With update, we have the ID coming from the form through that hidden value. So the IDs will work differently, but this information will be the same. Okay, it's all coming in through the form. So for the ID, that's also now coming through the form. So we're going to say actually variable ID is equal to ID task ID dot val. Alright, so that's grabbing everything from the form. Now we want to, same thing with add. I want to grab this right here. Put that here. We're going to get the field simple validation as well. Whoops. Actually, I just want to see where this ends. So we want it from here. Let's see, where does it end? It doesn't seem to. Is this it? Huh. Anyway, I'm going to grab this. And just put an ending curly brace. And also, we need to put that E in here for the event so that we can use this prevent default. And we also got to go way up here where we call update task. We need to put the E here and here. And I'm going to grab some other stuff. I want that. Actually, pretty much, yeah, I want all of this. Put that right in here. Okay, so it's doing exactly what the add task does. Now, if we're updating a task and we're implementing the add task within it, then we need to also remove a task. What we're going to do is we're going to take the task that we want to edit, we're going to remove it, and then re-add it. Okay. Right now we're just re-adding it, so I need to just add a little bit of code. Let's see, I think I'm going to do it around here, and this should actually be, I'm going to change this to task list. So task list, JSON parse, task. Alright, so that's good. Now we just need a for loop. So we're going to say for variable I equals 0, and we're going to say as long as I is less than task list dot length, then we're going to increment, so I plus plus. Alright, and then we're going to check to see if we have that ID. So if task list I dot ID is equal to ID, which is coming in through the form. Alright, so that if that's equal to ID, then we want to delete it. So we can do that by saying task list dot splice. So that'll take the value out of the array. And then we just want to pass in the iteration variable and 1 because we only want to delete 1. Alright, and then we just want to set the item again. LocalStorage dot set item tasks. Okay, that's the key. The value, we're going to wrap it in a stringify. JSON.stringify task list. Alright. So I think that should work. Let's go ahead and give it a try. Okay, so we're home. We're going to change, let's change meeting with boss. Let's just change it to meeting with wife. Okay, and submit. And you can see that what it did is it deleted that task and then it re-added it with the same ID. So it's the same exact thing. Alright, that's how it works. You can change pick up kids. We'll say from school. And let's go ahead and change that to high. And we'll change it to 2 p.m. Alright, you can see that that has all changed. So in the next video, I'll show you how to remove tasks and also how to clear them all out.